Hello, folks. Just a wee video to tell you what's been happening and what's coming up. I am excited to have just finished my wee poetry pamphlet, my wee tiny poetry book, which is a follow up from the one I did it's over 4 years ago now. I'd come looking other places, so it took me a long time to just kind of get the poems right. I'm not a prolific writer like lots of people and all that stuff, so that's off to the publisher. Hopefully, we'll see it sometime in the new year. I look forward to that. It's called For All Intensive Purposes, and it's poems and sometimes stories about poems and how I wrote the poems and things. So that's that. Word Up, the first of my new spoken word cabaret started in Glasgow earlier this month. It was an absolutely brilliant night, fantastic night. Really enjoyed it. It was exactly how I envisaged it being: poetry, comedy, and music working really well together. And we'll be back in Glasgow on the 10th of November, where we have the legendary Bruce Morton. We have Rab Florence with a poetry set. We have rising hip hop star from Glasgow, Clarissa Woods. And we have Michael Mullen, a fantastic young poet who's recently one of the winners of the Edwin Morgan Prize. Clarissa is also going to be in Edinburgh this month. This month we'll launch the first of our Edinburgh shows. We're going to be doing this monthly in Edinburgh and Glasgow till the end of the year, at least hopefully longer than that. So Clarissa is going to be at the Glasgow show in November, but she's going to be the music guest at the Edinburgh show, which is October the 26th at the Stand in Edinburgh, a Wednesday night. There's nothing else on. Forget all that Champions League stuff and all that kind of stuff. Boring. Get down to the Stand for a great night of spoken word, of comedy, poetry, music with Clarissa Woods. Our guest comedian is Mark Nelson, absolutely brilliant comedian. We've been trying to get Mark, pin him down. He's really busy with things with the BBC and all that, so we've been trying to get him pinned down to do a gig for us. We've got a wonderful Edinburgh-based poet, Kevin McLean, one of the leaders of Loud Poets, a fantastic organisation. He's a great live performer. Delighted to have him. We've got the hardest working man in showbiz, I like to call Stephen Watt, a poet for the West Coast, for sort of Dumbarton way, or Old Kirkpatrick. He's an incredible writer, brilliant poet, never stops working. You see him involved in absolutely everything. So delighted to have him. He's coming through for that show too. And Rosa Moxham, who's the star of our first show in Glasgow. Rosa's a great young up and coming poet. I don't know if I can say that now. I've been putting her on for a couple of years now. So I don't know where she is, up and coming or not. A young poet anyway, who's great funny poems, quite often based around her work in the gig economy and things like that. She's very political, very poignant, and very funny. So I'd like to have her as well. It's going to be a fantastic lineup. So get yourself along. Tickets are on sale now. I'll put a link below this video. We've got that is going to run to the end of the year. We've got an incredible lineup to come. So keep posting, keep looking in to see who we've got. We've got Phil Differ coming. We've got Josie Long, Victoria McNulty, Kevin Gilday, and many others. And hopefully this works out. It looks if it's going very well. If this works out, becomes a regular in the Stand, you'll see the best of Scottish poets. It's quite hard to sort of get the right ones to do the right shows when they're available and all that stuff. But there's such a wealth of talent out there in Scottish poetry and spoken word. I'll be delighted to be bringing some new faces and some old faces together, along with, as I say, the very best of Scottish comedy and some great music to entertain you as well. So buy a ticket. And I've said this before. I've said this before at the last shows, that these are reasonably big venues. It's Wednesday night shows. I would hate anybody to be put off by not being able to afford it, especially at times like this when we're all struggling. So if you know me, or if you know anybody involved and you genuinely can't afford to go along but would like to come, if you're in Edinburgh, just drop us a message, get in touch, and I'll make sure you get in. And nobody's going to be locked out of this show because they can't afford it. But if you can afford it, buy a ticket so that I can afford to give free tickets to other people. Okay, does that sound about right? Solidarity. Buy a ticket in solidarity, and then I can give a free ticket to somebody who can't afford a ticket. That does make sense, doesn't it? hopefully. Just follow the link below, buy a ticket, send me a message, support us, come to the next show if you can't come to this one. Tweet it, share the video, share the link, and all the kind of things. There's a way of saying that that's a bit less kind of convoluted and more like on message and all that kind of stuff. I'll get there eventually, I'm old.